What's up, y'all? This is Reese,
And I'm Giancarlo.
and this is Detailers Report.
Happy hour.
All right, y'all. We're going to talk about different ways to approach the detailing game, right?
Let's just keep it simple. 2 ways to approach it.
All right, cool.
And from there, I'm sure we're probably going to venture off.
You never know what'll happen when looking in your system.
But I just think, since we spoke about it earlier,
Right.
like the one way, the first way to approach it we could talk about is how we're trying to approach it. It is basically quality over quantity. So
Right.
we charge a little more than your average car washer. If there's out there, calling themselves detailers, where we trying to, detail the car,
Right.
possibly get paint corrections, coatings, that type of little higher end, like middle to higher end
Right.
services.
And I think what the what the customer, the actual consumer, kind of gets confused is their first initial interaction or induction into detailing is the spot on the corner where they're getting their car washed for probably like $20-$25, and they're thinking that that's detailing, which is not. And that's another approach that you can approach as far as like going into the business of washing cars, because we can't really call it detailing, because they're just washing the cars. You're getting your $20-$25, and boom, you're gone. With this entails just simply vacuuming and washing out the car, putting some tire shine, maybe some air freshener in there, and you're on your way. That's a car wash. What we do is detailing. It entails a little more, thorough cleaning of the vehicle. So it's going to be a little more pricey. And even when you're doing that, within both aspects of it, there is the business side of it. So where you have, I actually put a video on Instagram where you have to think about the finances. No matter whether you're doing 20, $25 jobs a day, or you're doing 10, 65 and higher jobs today, you still have to manage your finances. We actually had on our last happy hour with Caesar, where he talked about it also, how we, as far as like detailers, with us, there's no middleman. We get our money, it's our money. We work. We don't have to go to Uncle Sam first to get our money and have all these other people touch our money. We get our money first. Now, after that, what you do with your money is what you do with your money. A lot of people.
Yeah, what you're saying, what Reese is saying is that most of our business is dealt with cash. So we get our money before taxes, before Social Security, before all of that stuff. Unlike the normal employee that once they get their check, Uncle Sam already tapped that check. You know what I mean? Social Security, taxes, all of that already been hit on that check.
Right.
But with us, we get the cash first for what we worked for. And what Reese was saying is, what you do with it, whatever you report, that's on you.
Right.
But we gonna keep it. We gonna keep it legit.
You know what I'm saying?
So,
yeah.
We gonna do it the right way, right?
Yeah. So that's what we talking about. Because I don't need them people coming after me. Lord knows, I'm already on child support. Man.
Yeah, we gonna keep it legit and simple.
Right.
Like when it comes to managing, when it comes to any kind of business, whether it's major business or small time,
right?
Detailing is considered, small business,
right?
So when it comes to managing your finances is very simple. Is know what's coming in and what's going out. And what's most important is make sure that you're making more money is coming in than is coming out.
Exactly.
That's what's most important, to keep it simple.
And you always, and like you said, there's different apps and programs that you can actually use. One of the more famous one is QuickBooks. You can use that, and like I mentioned in the video I did on Instagram, like if you're using like Square, because I use Square, and Square has an integration of QuickBooks as an app where you can actually, whatever you, like if you're taking cards or anything or whatever, however you're doing it, whatever you're making, it goes right into that system, into QuickBooks, so you can actually balance your budget and know what you're getting in. There's other ones I can't name off the top of my head, but these things are very important in the legitimate stage of your business, like we said. So you want to try to keep Uncle Sam off your ass.
Yeah, you know. I mean, those apps are helpful, but come on, we small business. If you a detailer, I don't care, even if you got 3 vans. But let's not take it in. Let's rewind. If you were a small business, a detailer with 1 van,
right,
or 1 trailer, you're 1 employee. Maybe you got a helper. Come on, you being lazy if you need QuickBooks and all of that stuff. Now, if you understand it, that's helpful. But at least write your stuff down. Don't have excuses like, oh, I don't know how to use QuickBooks.
Yeah, but
man,
see,
write that shit down.
But then again, you still have to. I mean, even if they're writing it down, you still want to have some type of liaison to actually input that in. So at the end of the year, whatever, or when it comes tax time, you can go to your CPA or whoever and have all these numbers inputted to where into some type of system other than just writing it on a piece of paper.
But the thing is, it's all about organization is key. If you're gonna do any type of small business, because in life period, organization is important. You know what I'm saying? You gotta know, even if you're an employee, you gotta manage your finance. You gotta manage your check so that you know if you got enough for your bills, your rent, all that stuff. Now, we're talking about being entrepreneurs, being small business owners. Listen, that QuickBooks QuickBooks is probably the easiest out of all the other ones out there, because they probably one of the first to do it, so they ahead. So if you can figure it out, that's great. And remember, that's another expense.
Well,
so
not if you get it on a low.
No, if you're doing it legit, it's a monthly expense. You feel me? So, I mean, this all this stuff you could come into. I think most importantly, you need to learn how to be self-sufficient as a small business. You got to do everything, like especially being a small business owner and an entrepreneur. That's what an entrepreneur is, especially in the beginning. You're the employee, you're the manager, you're the accountant, you're all of it, you're everything.
Right.
So learn, you know what I'm saying? Write everything down. And then if you have an accountant, when you report back to the accountant, they're going to tell you, ask your questions. They're going to tell you, you're missing this or everything is good. But ask your questions, learn. That's just a learning process. There's like a picture that I saw. It's like what they call a meme, that it explains what an entrepreneur is. It's like an individual jumping off a cliff. And then there's letters that reads that says, an entrepreneur is the type of individual that'll jump off a cliff and figure out how to build a plane while he's falling and build it. And right before he hits the ground or the water, the plane is built and he takes off.
True.
You know what I mean? That's very extreme, but in a sense, that's what an entrepreneur is, because we don't know what's in front of us when we take that leap. And basically, as we're going, we're learning as we go. And we make a lot of mistakes, but that's what makes us smarter and wiser to grow. And then we know what after the mistakes, we know what not to do or how to do something better.
Yeah, when I step out on the scene, yo, I'm clean like OCD. Girls be asking if I'm single. Got a thing from the PYTs and about my cheese, so I got singles. Y'all biting like mosquitoes. My pants, shirt, hat, black, my outfit so Don Cheeto.
You know what? I forgot. Time.
To my own whip, ask whose car is this? Lost like yet again, and she can't use the phone like Lillian. And since my
All right,
so 6 different women like they call them Vivian.